The show is a hit everywhere it is. I mean, London, still running, probably run forever. Australia, a huge hit. New York. Chicago's your first stop now as you begin to tour the U.S. So, of course, I have to ask. I think we know the answer, but why Chicago?
Well, a number of reasons, really. One is I like the town. But all the obvious reasons. I mean, it's a great theatre town. You've got some great actors here, and it's a great audience town. But also, there's something about the story here. It's it is about a blue-collar community. It's about a manufacturing town that's under this threat. We just thought that the history of Chicago, the manufacturing, the industrial history of Chicago, the history of this community and what trade unions are, it would be understood in this town in a way that, I mean, I'm not saying it would be understood in California, but more understood, I felt, here.
We do get it more than California.
I wouldn't like to. And we just found a natural home, and we've been having a great time here. We're delighted we are here.
Hey, by the way, you were in New York on Broadway, so hey, I would think Broadway life, give it to me. But you wanted to come to Chicago.
Yeah, I wanted to see what a tour was like, and to continue and to take a break and go through the whole rehearsal process again.
My understanding is you saw when you were 3. You saw a documentary about Bojangles, and you wanted to become a dancer. What kind of life do you have? 3? Bojangles, tell me about that.
When I saw the documentary on TV, I thought it was really cool, like how he made sounds with his feet and all that. And I told my mom I wanted to dance, and she put me in lessons.
All right, makes sense. The productions are different, John, everywhere. I mean, right? Australia is different than London, different than New York. I've seen it in London, I've seen it in New York and here. Talk to me about what considerations that go through your mind when you say we're creating this production for this, I'm not sure if it's city-tied or country-centric. How do you change the show?
Well, it's both a blessing and a huge problem of working with the creative team we work with, that they'd never leave anything alone for 1 minute ever. And in fact, when I came back yesterday, I was just noting how many lines had changed from last week when I went away. And it's fine, but you'll never see the same show in the same city. It's completely different in Australia. When we eventually stripped down the show in Australia, I was looking at the amount of scenery that was completely different. The show here, again, is completely different from Broadway in so many ways. It's never been faithfully replicated. It's always been expanded.
That's one of the great joys of it. It's handmade each time.
Yeah.
It has to be handmade each time because of the nature of the children. But it's also handmade because we want it to be. And it's the way that we keep our interest in it. And I think genuinely we try to improve it each time. And I think I can honestly say we all think this show that we got currently on in Chicago is our best version.
Well, it's true, because we were all back in London last week for the 5th birthday party in London. And there was a lot of clenched buttocks watching the London show, because you were going, oh, you should come and see what we've done in Chicago. It's fantastic.
Pick this show up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You go, where's that bit? It's about, it's gone. So I think this is the best version of the show. And to be honest with you, it's got better each time. And we've solved a lot of the problems. I was saying in the car coming in, Julian, who's the associate director, was dancing around the basement of the theatre going, I've solved post. And I was going, Julian, it's 6 years. It's not an achievement. You've been working on that scene for 6 years.
So that means by the time it gets to Jackson Hole, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Emily, I don't know, did you watch the movie? I mean, is Mrs. Wilkinson, to me you're very true to what I see the role as, but did any other portrayal of Mrs. Wilkinson impact you?
Well, I mean, I saw the movie originally when it came out and loved it and responded to it. And I saw it when they did it in New York. I saw the original actress who did it in New York, and I loved her. But I certainly I'm not an imitator. I'm not good at that kind of thing. So I can only sort of do what feels truthful to me.
All you really have to do is, shine. Give it the old razzle-dazzle and shine.
I want to dispel something with you guys. I mean, there's some people who, there might be some husbands out there who hear Billy Elliot's coming. I heard it's this ballet show. I'm not going to a ballet show or a dance show. So for the, perhaps some of the guys in the audience or whatever, that really kind of misses the point, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it's about a little boy who wants to be a ballet dancer, but of course it's much more than that. It's about a community that's under threat. It's a community of miners in the northeast of England that were going through this incredible struggle in the 80s. Where the government was trying to shut down all the mining in the country. to get rid of the union and the power of the unions. And it's about one little village and the story of these men, the miners in that village, and one of the miners happens to be a dad who's lost his wife, and they've got this little cuckoo, this little boy, who becomes for the whole community a little phoenix, as indeed the strike sort of collapses in on this community. What I love about the show, I mean, one of the things I'm most proud about the show actually is how many dads love it. It's a show for dads, and dads and their kids, and watching those men who come to the show and really try and go through the emotions that they go through, I think is one of the thrilling things.
And it's true, in this show, by the way, Tommy, you know, Dad's a man's man in this show, right? Yeah. Your brother, Tony, is a man's man in this show. But, you know, Billy is too. I mean, he has a talk to me about what guides Billy, what his motivation is in this.
He's obsessed with dancing, and he has this will to do it, and he wants to do it really bad.
Well, what is your life like? I mean, you know, you're not having the normal life of a kid, I don't think, right? You're not in school from 9 to 3. I mean, but I know you have your education. So can you tell us about, you know, what is the day of Tommy Bachelor in playing Billy?
Well, we wake up and we go to work.
What time is that?
We have tutoring, usually starts at 12 o'clock. So that's usually the beginning of our day.
Starting the day at noon?
Mm-hmm.
That's rough.
Wait, sometimes it starts at 9. Sometimes it starts really
Yeah,
early.
we've, every once in a while we'll have like 10 o'clock ballet classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I audition for this? I wouldn't mind. I would like that. No, I'm sorry.
But it goes on, doesn't it? Because
Yeah,
you do tutoring, then you do
yeah, we have tutoring, and then we have sometimes ballet classes or acrobatics. And then we also have, because we fly in the show, so we have flying rehearsals. It's like
And when you say
once a
fly,
week.
just so our audience understands, what?
Oh yeah, it's on a wire. We don't actually fly.
Don't give the camera away.
We lost 2 Billies that way.
Yeah, flew away. And then sometimes we have a show at night, and then we go home.
But what's interesting is how much maintenance you have to do. I mean, how much, because people think that, oh, we're just doing a show and then you'll have 2 days off or something, but it's not like that at all, is it?
Every day there's rehearsals.
Every day there's rehearsals.
And but are there understudies separate from the 4 Billies, so that if a Billy is sick or something like that, is it one of the other ones, or are there also understudies?
Well, everybody looks after all the 4 Billies will look after each other in a sense.